This is Gerald Johan van Waas and the educational channel related with the book Sounding Form, also in 2 volumes, the development of the word, the theory and the application of the word, additional extras. The book is about the meaning of letters, how you can change them into forms, how you can recognize them into forms, how you can it is a bit about the proof of how it works, and it also proves that this is a natural order that we follow, and I can prove that again and again, but in the last couple of videos I will keep myself to demonstrations how you can recognize the letters and letter combinations in forms. It will not always be easy, but sometimes it is quite easy. And I go from one environment to the next. I had the general environment in the last video, and now I will take very simple a table with a dinner plate. I have here a fork, I have a knife, I have a spoon, I have a cup, and I have a glass with let's say wine. And I look forward to have dinner. But first, before I go to dinner, I will notice what I have on the table. And I have these different objects, and I will name these objects. I will first start with the plate. The plate. So what is the plate in letters and in letter combinations? The first letter is of course the P. The P is of course the pressing out. Pressing out of anything. I will show this here in 3 dimensions immediately. Of course it doesn't have to be. Basically we know that it will go press to the A. It will go to the direction of the A. The A is very straightforward pressing points that we can see, and it will also be an object or something that is physical because of the A. And the A can be any form, but it's more simple to have that as a round form. It can even be a square, but we will take the round form just to make it easy. So the P, I will have here the plate already visible in that way, and I will add the L. When I add the L, there will be a physicalization, let's say. There's a formation which confirms what we already have. The A will be the object itself, so the main focus of our object, which comes next. And we already go direction of the E, so there is an extension. So we're already here, there's also an extension. The extension will be something else. It will be the extension of what we can do with it. The function with 8, the 8, you know, the word 8 exists as AID, but also as 8, ATE. This is some of the functions that it will indeed have as a plate, but this is just a function at this point, with an extension to somewhere else, it doesn't matter, but we have the form of the plate, and it just says, okay, I have a platform which will be used for a certain function. That's more or less what we already can see, but the object itself is recognizable. We immediately recognize it in the order of letters once we start to recognize these letters and know how to combine them. After the plate, we will go to the next word, the next object. Let's take the cup. I will take the cup out. I will start to form it. How do I form a cup as letters and letter combinations? We can recognize immediately the letter C. The C is a partial part of the circle, which hangs together in a logical way. But because we will express it with the U form, the U will, or the will immediately say that, okay, it has to face down. So let's face the C down. And with a P or a pressing out also emphasized, and the is also the hollow function in this way, we immediately have the cup. The cup is immediately visible. It's as simple as that. Now if we compare it with the cup on the table, now the cup has something extra. Now this is already a cup. It is exactly a cup as we could design it, as we could have it. But this cup looks a bit different. Does it still fit as an idea with the letters of cup? Yes, indeed. Because if we would extend it in the same way as cup with the same letters, we have to split it somewhere, yeah, in to have an addition somewhere in the circle, not the full circle, and then add the same kind of pressing out, hollow and pressed out, and we have also the second part of the cup. This is cup, a cup with the cup form added additionally. It still fits. Go to the next object. Let's take out the fork. The fork. This is a little bit more difficult word, as I will explain, because the F is also, yeah, it's finding directions in the environment. Now these finding directions turns immediately to R, or making connections, but the K is breaking these connections, so it is not easy to imagine it, how this combination of these three things can happen. So I have here the F, which tries to find direction somewhere in the environment. I will try to take out something. It's not easy to express it. You already understand it if you know the fork, that this is happening with the fork, but how can we express it? Because there is a finding direction somewhere in the environment, it has to break in the same way. We focus on to a point and we try to break it, but in this finding a place for it, it's not easy. Let's put this aside for a while. Let's focus on the form itself with which to perform this. The F we mostly designed as I had here underneath, but by knowing that we have to go towards the R, the connection, the F, or the confrontational form of forming itself slightly, you can have a form as this up. This is a combination already of F and R, and the F and R can be a connection that we make, or it can be a connection within the formation itself, but it also has to end with a breaking point, as you can see here. Breaking point after a while and within an environment. This is the form analysis and structure that we have underneath. But of course, with the long O, fork, it also means we have a process that goes towards that action. This action, which takes together directions that we will try to find in the environment where we will break something apart. We still don't have a very good form of it. We have the fork object, but the fork activity is still puzzling to imagine how we can design it. It is a very complex changes of directions of the F to the R to the K. But let's take the fork and go towards the environment and focus on the breaking point. What do we have with the fork? We have an activity in the fork. Find something, take it out, and collect some materials. That's what a chaotic activity is. It is collecting materials. It is not always the same thing. It's always something else, and we take out connections with material, with directions, and find a new direction. The fork is doing that. The object itself, it was quite easy to understand. The activity itself is of course more complex, but we understand it of course when we associate it with the real thing. Anyhow, the fork is recognizable. It was a bit more complex. It is also an activity in there which is quite complex, but it is doable. It is imaginable is as a description. Letters combinations are descriptions of what we do with it, how it looks like, and all the things together. Let's go to the next form and the next object, the knife. Here's the knife. What do we have here? We have a couple of letters that are written, a few others that are only pronounced. So we have to use them differently. They matter. The letters that you hear are pronounced, or they are physical. The letters that you don't hear but that are written are more the structures behind it. So I have the K, the breaking point, which gives a certain distance there, but this breaking point is not the physical thing, but we deal with a breaking point. That's what you have. The K will deal with the breaking point, but we go immediately to a content with the I, or the insertion of something. This insertion on I, on a certain span, which will be physical, and the F of sound will be the finding direction again, what we can do with it, material, find material, trying to materialize slowly, and then the connection with it. We don't express it with F in the word as we write it, but with VE. So we will add the VE to connect this F as we have there. So yeah, it is also a complexity that you have, but it deals with all the letters. It deals with the K, the N, the A, the I, the F, the V, and the E. It deals with all these aspects, and it will flow them into each other. This is one way to express it, that we use it as a breaking point into a content. We have an impulse to do so. We have the fine material that we have there. We find the direction in it, and in the extension of it, we break it. That is what a knife is doing. And this breaking a part of something in the material is what it is also doing. How do we, if we compare with the object, does it fit? It is a bit more difficult, again, because there's a functional thing in it, there's an activity in it, and there's the object with which to perform the activity. But both of them are recognizable, how we, what we do with it, with the knife and so on. The knife itself, as you see, it's only the upper part that is described, not the lower part, and that is a bit different. But if we really say it's what is the knife, okay, it is only the upper part as well. That is the knife part as well. But of course the knife itself, we have a handle as well. So the handle is not designed there, and it's not in the letters in a way if we translate it into the form. I know this knife was a bit difficult. The next one will be more easy. So what's the next object that we see on the table? We have the spoon. The spoon is starting with the S. The S can be described in this form. It is actually an extension of results that come forward from somewhere and goes outwardly. That's the S form, which can be expressed like this. And then of course we also have the pressing up, the pressing in the result. So in the second part, in the result part, We have that, and it also goes towards the environment. So we have the environment in it, and we have also the N, or a content in it. So we have a content in it in the environment, which is pressed out also, and pressed, and with the S as a result, that is taken out also. So we can also take it out and press it out. So in that way we have the object of the spoon, which is description of the form and a description of its function. Both of them almost unimaginable, but it's automatically associated with the spoon. So we have had the next object already. Go to the next one on the table. What do we still have? We still have the glass. The glass. So, first letter, or two letters, are the G and the L. So the G is the gl, gl, gl. You can already hear it in the here. The G is mostly somewhere at the edges where it is bouncing again, bouncing to its outer limits most of the time. But you can see it is, as you can feel it here, it is somewhere, pressing against a surface. In that way I can express it like this, and it is expressing itself in the direction that it also will take form. I will even give it more form with the L, as you can see here. The gl. Next one is the A, the gla of glass. Glass, it is it is written as A. It's actually pronounced as O. It's only one letter, which is actually meaningful, and it's of course the first one. So we'll have here the glass here, and going to a gla here already, gla. When I have to go to S, I have to add more results of, in fact, what I already have. The gla has to create more results outwardly. So more results outwardly are being expressed here in glass, or at least in the first part, as you can see here. Does this fit with the glass? In a way, just partially. It's like it looks more like a cup, not like the glass. But what I have actually is this not description of the glass itself as an object, but more, actually, even more of the material, how the material is experienced. If I adapt to it a little bit better to how it looks like, and I continue all the directions that I have here, the gla to outwardly, and I follow it, it follows actually the rules of the material of the glass, as you can see here. So in that way, yes, it still fits. So it is a materialization in different layers. So like the L makes it more physical, makes it more but then in the pressing out, the pressing on top each other in the physical way, it is kind of layers is the description of the glass. It doesn't say that it is that you can see through it. That's not what is visible, but there is this layering form that is described actually in the letters, as you can see here. So the glass also still fits. It's different as I was expected. I thought I was going to have a form that would say like, oh, I can see through it. It is not. It is this actual structure that fits to the glass that is described with this word. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed. This was another demonstration related with sound in form, the theory in the development of the word, with a few extra explanations how to use the book, and then the application of the word with some extended relationships that are also interesting in scripts in the past, even in astrology, and so on and so on in the application of the word. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This was Gerald Johan van Waas again. You can look at my website, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like for more instructional videos. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.